Okay, so in this problem we have the distance Robert can travel using 1 gallon of gas is called the unit rate. Use Robert's graph to predict how far he can drive using 1 gallon of gas. That is, find his unit rate. So first we have to understand that a unit rate is when you're trying to calculate something based on 1 unit. So in this example, it is asking you, while we have the graph can be a very useful tool for estimating. It is oftentimes quite difficult to use a graph to find an exact answer. And if you look, it's asking you what is the significance about the point labeled 1y. 1y is an ordered pair where 1 represents your x value. If you look at your graph, your x-axis is the gas used in gallons. So we're looking to find out when x is 1. So when we have 1 gallon of gas. They're asking, what is your y value? And as you can see on the graph, the y-axis represents the distance in miles. So we're looking in the graph to see, well, when x is 1, what is my y value? And it's quite difficult to see on the graph what the y value is when x is 1. I would have to estimate that it's somewhere between, 30 to 40. So it's difficult to find the exact value. However, if you look at the line graph, you will see a point. And the point is at 12, 420, which means when Robert has 12 gallons of gas, he can travel 420 miles. We can use that information to figure out how many miles can he travel on 1 gallon of gas. So if he can get 420 miles out of 12 gallons, what can he get out of 1? So we set it up as 420 divided by 12, and you get 35. That means that Robert can travel 35 miles on a gallon of gas. In question E, or letter E, I should say, it asks you to write an equation that you can use to find the exact number of miles that Robert can drive given any number of gallons of gas. So since we know that the distance is calculated by multiplying the number of gallons by 35, we can use that to write our equation. We know that distance is our y value, gallons is our x value. We know that if I have 1 gallon of gas, I multiply that by 35, I can travel 35 miles. If I have 2 gallons of gas, I multiply it by 35, I can travel 70 miles. If I have 3 gallons of gas, multiply that by 35, I can travel 105 miles. So we have an equation y equals 35x. In letter F, you're going to use your equation to find out, well, how many gallons of gas would Robert need if he needs to travel 280 miles? Since 280 miles is our y value, because y represents distance, we are going to replace or substitute 280 in for y. So if you see, in our equation y equals 35x, we're going to take out our y and substitute in 280, because that's the distance we're trying to figure out. So if I have an equation, a one-variable equation, 280 equals 35x, I need to solve for x. And right now I'm multiplying x by 35. I need to use the inverse operation in order to solve this. And the inverse operation to multiplying would be division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 35. Property of equality. Whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. I end up getting x equals 8, which means that when my y value is 280, my x value is 8. In the context of this problem, it means when Robert needs to travel 280 miles, he is going to need 8 gallons of gas.